Think about the silver inside things you already know. A phone, a car, a solar panel, a piece of jewelry in a drawer. Most of us only see the finished object. Sinda is much earlier in the chain, at the stage where a company is still trying to prove there is enough valuable metal in the ground to matter. Sinda Ltd is not selling shiny bars of silver today. It is an exploration stage company working on mining exploration projects in Mexico, including the Guanajuato epithermal silver belt. So the question for this IPO is simple. Is this a real business already, or a big bet on what it might discover? Welcome to the Cursor Stocks. The company was founded in 2012 and is headquartered in Mexico. That matters because this is not a brand new idea chasing a headline. But age alone doesn't make an exploration company safe. What matters is whether years of work can turn into something investors can measure, finance, and eventually earn money from. Here's the important part. Exploration is not the same as mining. A miner pulls material out of the ground and sells it. An explorer studies land, designs projects, drills, tests, and tries to show that a deposit could become valuable later. That's why the silver in your phone story is useful, but still distant. The problem Sinda is chasing is easy to understand. The world keeps using metals, but nobody gets new supply by wishing for it. Someone has to take the early risk, spend money before revenue shows up, and find out whether a project is real. That early stage can create upside, and it can also create disappointment. Right now, Sinda's money engine is mostly future-facing. The latest full-year numbers show no revenue, which means no money coming in from regular sales yet, and a net loss of about $18.7 million, which is what was left after expenses. So this is not a normal operating business asking for a spotlight. The IPO is set for July 1, 2026 on the NYSE under the ticker SI named, the short stock market nickname people use to find the company. An IPO is the moment a private company starts selling pieces of itself on the stock market. Sinda plans to offer 17.75 million shares. The expected price range is $11.25 to $13.25 per share. Because the planned deal amount is about $235.2 million on 17.75 million shares, the deal size points to an expected price around $13.25 if it completes at that size. Since the offering is still pending, that is not a finished closing price yet. The headline raise is about $235.2 million. For a beginner, picture that against a company with no latest full-year revenue. This is the part investors will argue about. The market is being asked to fund the search before the business has proven it can bring money in from customers. Why would a company like this go public? Usually, it is about raising money, giving the company more visibility, and creating a market where shares can trade. For Sinda, the common sense reason is funding patience. Exploration takes time, and time costs money before a single everyday product ever feels the result. The timeline is short, but it tells the shape of the story. Sinda began in 2012, spent years as a private exploration company, and is now trying to reach public investors in 2026. That doesn't answer our central question, though. It only tells us the bet is moving from private hands to public ones. The bull case starts with the metal itself. Silver is not just for jewelry. It is used in electronics and other industrial applications people encounter through everyday technology. If investors believe demand for these materials keeps rising, then a company searching for supply can feel interesting even before it has revenue. Sinda's named project area is the Guanajuato epithermal silver belt in Mexico. Don't worry about the geology label. The useful idea is simpler. The company is focused on a specific silver exploration setting, not selling a broad consumer product. Investors are really asking whether that project focus can turn into something bankable. The attractive version of the story is optionality. If exploration work produces strong results, the company could become more valuable because the ground starts looking more useful. That is why early mining stories can pull people in. The hard part is that the same story can stay a promise for a long time. Now the catch. Exploration companies can spend a lot and still not prove enough to build a real mine. That spending has a name. Cash burn. How fast the company spends money to stay alive and grow. Sinda's latest full-year loss tells you this is already costing real money before revenue has arrived. Revenue is how much flows in. Profit is whether the business keeps any of it. In Sinda's latest full year, revenue was zero and net income was negative, meaning it lost money. That doesn't automatically make the IPO bad. It does mean this is a discovery story first, not an earnings story. Competition is broader than one company name. Sinda is competing with other explorers for land, talent, financing, attention, and eventually partners. If metal prices are exciting, more people want into the same kind of story. If financing gets tight, early-stage companies can find that the market's patience disappears quickly. A final stock market valuation has not been set in the hard deal terms available here. That matters. Market cap means what the whole company is worth on the stock market, and without that number, you should resist pretending the price tag is clearer than it is. The raise itself is already large next to zero revenue. One thing to watch in the final prospectus is who really gets the IPO money. If new shares are sold for the company, the cash can help fund the business. If insiders sell, more money goes to existing holders. Also watch for a lockup, the waiting period when early insiders usually can't sell yet. After it lists, the useful signals are not complicated. Watch whether Sinda reports stronger project evidence, whether losses stay manageable, and whether it can move from spending money to creating a path toward revenue. Bring it back to the phone in your hand. The story only works if the search becomes real supply. So the dream is clear. Sinda could give public investors early exposure to a silver exploration story in Mexico. The doubt is just as clear. No revenue yet, meaningful losses, and a valuation still not fully pinned down. Follow the cursor stocks, and the next IPO story won't feel so mysterious. This video is for information and education only, not financial advice.